Persona. Haven area.
Okay. All right, you ready? We'll get into it? All right, let's have some fun. Hey, everyone, this is Anthony with Interviews Everyday People. I'm sitting down here with Hayley and Austin, local artists and up-and-coming comic book creators. I did find out a little bit that you have your own little business.
Yes.
Give that a quick plug.
Co-owner of the Escape Pod Cards and Games at 232 and 230 Pine Street in Tamaqua. We do tournaments. We sell games for anything from Super Smash Bros. To Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, any of that stuff. We're open every day except for Thursday, noon to 10.
Awesome. Now, you said you sell games. Are you selling newer stuff, old stuff, a little bit of everything?
We're selling card games, actually, pretty much exclusively card games at the moment. We sell, like I said, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Keyforge, and Star Wars Destiny is the big game we try to push.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just played. My friends have like a game night all the time, and they don't play like I used to play Pokemon back in the day. It was just like 4 things, and it was like an easy rock paper scissors game. And they added way too much to it, and I'm like, I can't do that. And then my other friends like, let's learn Magic, and I was like, nope, not doing that either. But yeah, the what was it? It was like Koof. It's like a board game. You should look into those too, like because board games are getting popular again. Like Secret. I don't know. It's called Secret Hitler. You ever play that?
Yep.
You never heard of it?
I'm not a big gamer. I'm trying to get.
Well, this is
games.
a board game. This is a board game. It's called Secret Hitler, and you get like 4 or 5 people at a table, and then you all draw an envelope, and you're either a communist or a liberal. Is it liberal, right? A liberal, and then one's Hitler.
Yep. And like there's the chancellor, and you play like basically like you go through politics of like what German was at that point, and one of you's Hitler, and you're trying to gain power.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of you are in there and you're trying to stop him, and some of you are in there trying to help him.
Yep. It's awesome.
I think I played a version.
Yeah.
Of
So
that.
once the game starts, you look and you go, okay. You're like, I'm a communist.
Yeah.
So you're like, everyone close your eyes, and the communists open your eyes, and Hitler open your eyes, and you all look at each other like, all right, we're gonna work together.
Okay.
But you can't give each other up. But you have to try to get so many policies in, and once you get so many in, then Hitler can take over.
It's like, have you ever played Town of Salem? No. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of common ones that are similar to it. I didn't.
Yeah.
When you said you played something like it, I know.
No, it was. I can't remember what it was called, but it was something similar to that.
Like Blood in the Clock Tower, I think.
I don't remember, but it was like. It wasn't like a board game. Like it was something a group of friends and I were just playing.
Yeah.
Sit around in a circle.
Yeah, something like that. And
yeah, those games they're getting popular again, and people are looking for places like to buy those and play them. So that'd be maybe a little niche market you might get into as well. But it's crazy. It's so much fun. And then there's another one they played. It's kind of like a role playing game, and I'm usually not into those at all. Like the Dungeons and Dragons. I have friends who play it. I can't figure it out. But they had one where it's like the Cthulhu or the
Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu.
Where like you have to go around and kill monsters and stuff.
Yep.
So I picked this homeless guy who has a dog, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play this entire game as if I was this homeless guy. So everyone's going to fight these monsters, and I'm just trying to make money. And then someone would be like, oh, yo, you can give like a key. Like I found like a key, and I was like, well, listen, if you give me like $10, I'll give you the key. And everyone's like, well, we need the key to win the game. And I was like, cool. I'm not trying to win the game. I'm homeless. I don't care. I just want all the money. And that's how I play the game, and I had a blast. They hated me.
Yeah, I feel like some people take games a little too seriously.
Yeah. They're like, yo, you gonna come over and fight this monster? I was like, no, I'm good. I'm trying to get this money. And then halfway through, I finally got attacked, and then like I was about to die, but my character has a dog, and I can kill my dog to get my health back.
Oh no!
I'm homeless. I'll get another dog. Dog is gone. You had to do what you got to do. Yeah, so I survived. We didn't win the game. The game took over because I didn't help fight the monsters, but it was fun. I had a blast. They hated me, but yeah, that kind of stuff is fun. But I'm not like the magic and stuff. I'm not very good at. There's a lot to that.
Yeah, we get that a lot when we run into that kind of problem. We try to do like learn to plays and stuff. Like people are around there, and it's a bit of a slower day. Like we'll come up and teach people how to walk through games, and we offer everything. We have a game library that people can come in if they pay whatever $2 a day or $1 an hour. They can come and use any game they want. We have TVs. Cool. We have Nintendo Switches.
Oh, so people can like come in a game, and you do gaming tournaments as well?
Yes, we do. We do Super Smash Bros. Twice a week. We get 14 to 16 people. We get really like, tournament competitive players. We have.
I was actually talking to somebody. Sorry to cut you off, but they're doing a Super Smash Bros. Tournament. I don't know if it's already passed, but it brought to my attention at the Sherman Theater, and they're gonna get like a bunch of like some of the pro gamers are gonna be there,
Oh, nice.
And they're going to have like a tournament.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm terrible at Smash Brothers. Fighting games are not my thing. So if you guys have like a Madden tournament, let me know.
We actually are. We're working to do one this summer, actually.
For this upcoming game?
Yeah, we're trying to, it's not official yet, but we're trying to work with the football boosters at Tamako High School, and we're trying to put one on for them.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Well, like I said, we do another show, Things That Weren't Cool in High School, and it's all about video games and stuff. So maybe we can work something out. You come on and talk more about the shop, or we can like work together and do like a tournament of a game.
All right.
That'd be fun. That's
Sounds
awesome.
great.
That's what our area needed. They needed a comic book store or a game store or something like that. And it hasn't been there.
Yeah, we've been really busy. I mean, people come in. We have a bunch of regular customers and stuff. I mean, I probably should be there working right now. My partner's taking care of it.
Well, you're promoting.
Yep.
You're doing something to that. Now, what game do you play mostly?
I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Star Wars Destiny, and I thought I played Smash Bros. I was wrong. I sucked at the game.
Yeah, I'm horrible at it. My brother's pretty decent. He came and played, and I quickly gave up. I was like, I'm done. You guys play.
I mean, it's still fun to play.
Yeah, but when they're like, I don't even touch the floor, and they're just keep me in the air.
Yep.
Like my whole friend group plays Smash. I'm always the last one. I'm like immediately out.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I was the best one in my friend group, but then this guy shows up for one of our tournaments, and he's the 6th best player in Pennsylvania and the best Mario player in Pennsylvania, and just destroys everyone.
Yeah, I didn't know there was like a whole thing where they like a certain character they go and like have to change their whole moveset because they're too good in the game.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some characters get knocked off. So
like tournaments like you can't play certain characters.
No, usually they keep everything for Smash Bros. Anyway. I mean, there are some games where that happens, and there are some characters like an update will come out and like, yeah, okay, this character can take you from 0 to death with barely even trying, so okay, we're going to tone him down.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we pretty much, I can just put up a rule sheet, say, okay, guys, just play on these stages, play with this many lives, play at this much time, and go for it, and pretty much just runs itself.
That's awesome. Do you ever had any issues where like people get a little too into it?
No, not really.
Punching holes in walls.
We did have, like the professional player I was talking about, we did have, we tried to do a doubles tournament afterwards, and he wanted to play against everyone 2-on-1, but people still were like, no, he's banned. He has to go.
Yeah.
People get...
Now, if someone's like ranked that high and they come in, do they like, I don't know the rules, they have to tell you like, hey, listen, I'm like really high. I'm probably going to destroy everybody here.
No, actually, it just... If they show up, they show up. One thing I've noticed is that if someone puts, because we list the tournament sheet out, like what's your name, did you pay, and what do you want to be listed as in the bracket. And if someone puts a sponsor down, I've realized like, okay, they're gonna win. Yeah. Like this guy came in with a jersey on, with his gamer tag on the back, and I was like, he's.
I'd be like, yo, we're jumping him.
He's taking.
Like everyone fight him, get him out of the game. And then we'll find out.
I mean, it's got to be intimidating too if you're just there to play for like fun, or if you're new at tournaments and then this guy shows up.
Yo,
and they told me
if I'm in your tournament and dude shows up with a jersey, and it's a four people play at one time, I'm telling you, the three were jumping him.
The one thing,
don't attack each other. Get him.
The one thing, he's the nicest person. I actually kind of want to shout him out. His name's Ninja. I don't honestly know his real name.
Not the real Ninja though, right?
No, he's not the full Ninja. He's sponsored by No Pause Tourneys. His name, what he goes by, is NPT Ninja.
Okay.
And he is like the nicest person I've ever met.
I'm sure he's a sweetheart, but I'm jumping him. Yeah, I'm sure we're leveling out the playing field. He's too talented.
He's insane. We had a tournament. He couldn't make it the one day. There was a big tournament that he went to in Philly, and I was joking around with players during. I was like, with the guy who won, I was like, here's prize, congratulations, you won the Ninja's Not Here championship.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of how Madden used to be. And then I took a huge break from Madden. Then I tried to get back into it. I'm like, oh, people are way in it. They're in a different level now. I'm not that good anymore.
I mean, everything's on a different level. I mean, I said my game was Star Wars. Me and my partner, we go around to tournaments and stuff. And
with the Star Wars,
it's a Star Wars. It's a card and dice game called Star Wars Destiny, and it's a really fun game. It's like. It's a really weird game because like you don't take turns like you do in like Magic or Pokemon. Like you do one thing, like you play one card, or you use one character, and then it goes back to your opponent. Like you play really back and forth. And
I think there was one that we played like that too. But it was, I think there's two versions of it. It's a Marvel one or the DC one, and the Marvel one you work together. It's a card game, and the DC one's a one-on-one. Yeah,
I'm not sure I know about them, but I was saying like. I think I'm good at it. I do decent, and then my partner, we go to a tournament in New Jersey. He wins it. It's the biggest regional I've ever had for the game.
Wow!
And he beat the world champion like 3 times that one day. So yeah, I.
Yeah,
I mean, everything's on a different level. I mean, I said my game was Star Wars. Destiny, and it's a really fun game. It's like. It's a really weird game because like you don't take turns like you do in like Magic or Pokemon. Like you play one card, or you use one character, and then it goes back to your opponent. Like you play really back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't play these games enough to get that good. I just try to run the store.
You're like, I bet that was an awesome car ride home.
That's my whole problem too. I don't play games enough to get
I'd be
good.
talking. I'd be the best in the world. You're driving.
No big deal.
Yeah, everyone was joking with me, and like, everyone was joking with me during, because I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for top 8 to finish. I lost 3 games, so I was out. I finished like 22nd. I don't know. And he's there in the top 8, and people are talking with me, and like, oh, you hanging around? I'm like, I'm his ride home.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah. I know what it's like to be like the sidekick. I get it. Yeah.
The only ever experience I had where I was in a room like that, where it was like a super competition, it was like card based, is back. This is before when card games were like still illegal in Pennsylvania, and my uncle that passed away, he was a shark. Like, he was a good card player, and I used to play since like the age of 15 up in like just small little like pickup games here and there, and I loved Texas Hold'em. I'm not as good as I was anymore. Like, I'm probably horrible, but I loved playing it. And then my dad's like, hey, me and Uncle Jody are going to go to this place. Do you want to come play? They said, as long as you're 18, you can play. And I was like, all right, cool. So, like, we walk up in this town, in his dark alley. You knock on the door. The guy slides the peephole open. My Uncle Jody showed this yellow card. The peep door slide closed, and it was just a room full of just, like, it just looked like a gangster movie. Like, and everyone's playing cards. And because I'm 18, not only are they trying to beat me in the cards, but they're also, like, just talking a lot of mess. And this one guy just kept riding me, and I was like, I'm either going to be out of this tournament or I'm fighting this guy. But it was super intimidating. Like, you walk in a room full of a bunch of people doing the same thing that you do. Yeah. It's a different experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is different. This is crazy, too, because it's, like, actual money involved. Yeah. Where I guess the other ones are just like, let's...
I mean, there actually was, but this is a funny story, because we've been going to these tournaments for a while, and usually it's like, oh, if you get first place, you get like a binder and a trophy. If you get top 4, you get like a play mat and whatnot. And then, we're leaving, and, we're about to walk out, and someone's like, hey, did you get your credit prize? And I'm like, what? And so my friend goes up, and he's like, hey, there's something about a credit prize? And the guy's like, oh, yeah, what place did you finish? He's like, first. Okay, let me check. Oh, yeah, your first place. Okay, you have $250 in store credit. We had never won money for this game ever, and it's like, okay, $250. We're in a card shop in somewhere in New Jersey, and we're like, okay, we're not coming back here. How the hell are we going to spend $250 right now?
Yeah. Were you able to do it? Yeah,
we just grabbed a bunch of board games. I'm like, okay, these are going in the store.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait to come see the store. I'm gonna definitely do that soon. That's awesome, man. We'll definitely we'll promote that and we'll do more stuff with you with that.
Appreciate it.
Because I think that's a cool thing. Now, last Super Smash Brothers question. When you play, do you have to play like with a certain, like I know some people they bring back the old GameCube controller. Some people play with the Pro controller, and then some people use the Switch things.
I use the Joy-Cons. Everyone who comes in brings GameCube controllers, which that's the other thing that I learned. Everyone brings everything. Like I remember this kid, the dude who was the tournament player, Ninja. He came in the one day. Someone told me he was coming by, and he was kind of checking it out because the first day, like I had 2 TVs set up and whatnot. And I'm thinking like, okay, this is good. This works. And he comes in, he's like, okay, just so you know, tournament players will refuse to play on televisions. You need to get actual setups. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, okay, you need computer monitors. You need to make sure that they don't have any lag, and you need to get computer monitors set up. And what you do is, you're going to charge for the tournament fee, and what you're going to do is you're going to waive half of it if someone brings their own setup. And I'm like, okay, I'm just still trying to get it. Wait, people don't play video games on TVs anymore?
Yeah.
I'm still back on that part of it.
I'm like, bro, we're in School County. You're going to play on a TV.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, so he says that, and then I'm like, all right, whatever, tournament fees waived, bring your own setup. Lo and behold, 4 people show up with computer monitors and Nintendo Switches, and I'm like, all right, go about it.
Yeah,
we're
that
just
works
not cool and hip anymore.
Yeah.
Too old.
I would literally have like an old school bubble television and just be like 4-player Mario Kart.
I would never even think of that though either. Like, it's always been like, oh, just hook it up on a TV.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to play on a TV? Like, I don't know.
Do you have like the old GameCube with the old Super Smash Brothers?
I have a 64 set up permanently. I don't have my Wii set up with Brawl or Melee right now, but no, we have Smash 64 and we have Smash Ultimate, and someone's playing one of those like every minute of the day.
That's awesome. That's really cool, man.
That's what we're trying to do. And 2 of the tournaments that we're trying to get started, we don't have a date set, but we're trying to do a Mario Kart tournament very soon. And one other tournament that I really want to get started is someone donated a Wii U with Super Mario 64, and I have an N64 with Super Mario 64. And did you ever play Super Mario 64, the old one? So what we want to do is we want to get the TV set up side by side and have races down the slide.
Oh yeah. Well, there's 2 slides.
Any one of them.
The one I said that you have the one in the ice level where you race the penguin.
Yep.
And then the one where in the secret room where you race down, and if you get it in a certain time,
you get the extra star.
You get the extra star, yeah.
Yeah, and so people have been talking about they want to host like speed run tournaments and whatnot. People have been telling me like all these ideas. So we're trying to do a lot more with video games because that seems to be what's getting people in the door. So
yeah, and cool. Another cool thing you look into is streaming it, like streaming your tournaments.
That's what
because that gets really popular too. Like, hey, we're on Twitch, we're a local business in Tamaqua. Watch our stream, and you have like a camera. That's what I'm eventually want to get to with this. Like, what are things that weren't cool in high school, or even like banging beers. We have a couple beers and we stream like playing Mario Kart. Like, you ever play DUI Mario Kart?
I've heard of it. I don't drink though.
So the rule is you cannot consume your beer while your car is moving. So either it's 3, 2, 1, go, and everyone chugs, or like when you wreck while your car's like getting pulled out, you just drink as much as you possibly can. If you win the race and you still have beer in your cup, you're disqualified.
Oh my God.
It's about 4 or 5 games of that. It's out of control. Yeah. We played our buddy Charlie. He's amazing at chugging. He just like 3, 2, 1, boop, and he would just win every race because he's a machine.
I mean, though, if you got it set up and you knew how to stream games and stuff, if you wanted to come and commentate, I mean,
I don't know how to set that up yet, but when I set mine up, and because I saw a few people that know how to do that, but like what you would probably have to do is get a camera, learn how to stream 2 cameras, because you're going to have a camera facing the audio, like the people that are at the tournament, and then one at the game, so you'd have like a dual screen. But if there's anyone that's watching this and knows how to set that up, get in contact with one of us so we can work it out.
Yeah, seriously, I'm down for whatever. Love to get that started as soon as possible. We get a lot of people in there.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man. That's really cool. All right, awesome. So you got, now in your shop too, you said you also sell your own comic books.
Yep.
And you guys are starting to sell your collaboration.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
So we have this first one. It's first of this series, and it's also our first one together published for each of us, I think. Well, you were publishing before.
Well,
but this was
the first
one together.
Yeah, and this was the first, like, I kind of got all 3 of those at the same time. Yeah. And the other one, well, we don't talk about the first one, but
yeah.
So we have 2 here. We have Rebel Dawn. Now, you said, give us a little idea what this one's about again. Either one is.
Rebel Dawn is it's a dystopian story. It's sort of a story of revolution, and kind of in contrast to what a typical dystopian would be.
Still listening, you're good.
Not really
We're gonna put you here for a second.
Rather than a rebellion against an authoritarian state or something totalitarian like that, it's a rebellion in where a society was built on absolute freedom, and one company in this absolute freedom kind of monopolized everything, and it's a rebellion against that. So it creates a bit of a moral dilemma in if the society went shit on freedom, how much freedom should a society have? I mean, what really is liberation if total freedom still led to this? So, and it's not really something where there's one ideology being preached throughout the story. There's a lot of different perspectives. Everyone kind of has their own idea. Everyone in the rebellion kind of has their own idea of what the end goal should look like, and it kind of clashes with each one kind of clashes with each other, and it sort of builds. And right now we're only on chapter 1, so this doesn't go too deep into it yet. But hopefully,
do you have like a plan? Like, okay, it's gonna be 10 issues. It's gonna be 10 issues, or is it one of those things where you really don't have an end in mind, or you're just gonna kind of go through it?
I'm kind of like, I know there are 3 specific arcs I want to get to in the story, but I don't know how many issues it'll be. I mean, this one kind of fluctuated. It started 20 pages, then it was going to be 40, then it's like...
Yeah, this got edited down a lot.
Yeah,
so,
it got edited
especially
up.
towards, like, the end of it. Like, we were like, all right, it's crunch time. We got to, like, really think about this, because it was, like, 20 pages left, and I'm like, how can we make this, like, 5
Yeah,
or 10?
and it got edited up, and it got edited down. I mean, this one may have at one point been, like, a 60-page story, but I think it's 44.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, like, a 50 or 60 originally, and then throughout working on it, like, even throughout, like, the middle of it, we started editing like after it was already edited, and then I think it's like about like 30-40. So
yeah, because then we got to like the convention where we got to a convention that we were going to do, and we were going to show it off and everything. We wanted to get it done, and we got to the deadline, we needed it printed, and it was like, okay, I still have like 20 pages to go, we're going to cut this down. And she, in like miraculous fashion, knocked out so many pages in such a short amount of time. Like, the fact that this got done on time and got printed is a miracle.
I mean, that's like one thing for me is like deadlines are big if I can help it. Like, sure, there's like certain circumstances, like, you know, you can't help things that, you know, come up in life, but like when it was like, all right, this is a deadline, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make this work one way or another.
I'm pretty sure like you gotta be. I'm pretty sure there was at least one day where I like ran you coffee to the studio and you were trying to knock down like all.
Yeah. Like I was like already working on pages, and I was like, where are the pages? Let's go. Give me more pages. Like, bring them to me. I'll get them done. Here's the pages I'm working on. Like, it was pretty, like, that one last week was, like, rush time. There was, like, no communication with anybody. Like, we were just, like, going in work mode full on.
Nice. Now, the cover here has three. Are these the three main characters you're going to follow through most of the story?
Yeah.
And who are they?
On the left here is Rin. She's kind of an enigmatic character. She kind of is just... She's definitely the smartest of the three. She's just kind of hanging back and just... It's kind of a hard character to describe. Like, she's in... Especially in Chapter 1. Like, not... You don't really learn much about her, but, like... She knows things, and they know she's the smartest one. The one in the middle is Hiroshi. He's kind of the lead in which... He's kind of the everyman that you see the story through. Like, he's just kind of someone who's living in this society. Like, he knew there was absolute freedom, but, like, no one really recognized that the monopoly was that harmful. Like, there was some, like, this upper middle class level of people that were like, you know, life's fine for me, so whatever. And he kind of gets thrust into it. Like, his life kind of gets turned upside down, and then he kind of has to find his way through. And then on the end here is Saki Ryu. She's kind of the passionate, like, she knows what's right, and she doesn't make any, like, she doesn't mince words. She just kind of knows what's right and knows what has to happen. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of, if there is one hero of the story, it's like she'd be the hero. If I had to describe it, like, she's kind of the one that everything happens about. He's kind of the one that you see everything through, but she's the focus of the story.
Mm-hmm. She's the action.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. I like her little headband thing. I think that's pretty badass.
Yeah. We actually went to a convention, or two conventions actually.
Yep.
Where we were displaying this. They're pretty close together, and I cosplayed as both of the characters, and I had a few of these real cosplayers, because I wouldn't describe myself as that, come up to me, and they were like, "Oh man, you're so cool. What character are you?" And I was like, I'm this character. And they were like, "Oh man, who is that?" And I'm like, do you want to come find out? Like, and then they were just like, they were so cool about it, because they were like so sweet about it, because they were like, "Oh man, yeah, you cosplay." I'm like, "No."
I actually have my buddy Nikolai and his brother Anthony are also from Tamako area. They're in I'm gonna butcher this, and they get so angry at me. RXT, it's the Rooster Teeth people. Like, they go to Texas every year for the Rooster Teeth convention, and I guess there's a whole bunch of cosplayers and stuff there. And yeah, some of those girl cosplayers are.
Some of them are really intense. They're
intense.
Like, they spend like months making their costume. Like, I'm pretty sure I spent like a week.
I always do that.
I remember when you did the one, you were like, "Hey, I need the jacket. We need to go to my friend." It was like the day before the convention.
Yeah, it was like a few days beforehand. I'm like, "Let's go to Goodwill. I want to dress up as this character."
Yeah, I went with a friend. Her name was Sam, and we went to Steel City Con in Pittsburgh, and she dressed up as Immortal Joe from Mad Max, and it was awesome. And she won like a couple, like $1,000 or something around that prize. Like, and it came down to her and someone who did a full lifelike Babadook. And I was like, man, I like both those a lot, but she ended up winning. Like, she made, like, from scratch, made the mask, the tubes. She painted herself almost completely white, wore the white wig, but she was like a female version, obviously. But like, it looked like she made the belt.
It's so impressive, like what some of these people can do. Like, if I had the time and money, like, oh my god, it's so up my alley to like do something like that. But like, that's like way out of my comfort zone to like just become a character like that and be so extroverted and have people just like coming up to you, like, you know, you're embodying this character that all these people like, and it's like, oh my god.
Is there anyone that, like, do you cosplay at all, or is
I actually when I was 12, I went out to a Star Wars convention and I cosplayed as, like, there was this game, it was like a battle figure game called Tactics, and I dressed up as Yoda in the game, because like it's Yoda standing on a log, so I was able to actually stand up in the log and be Yoda, and I actually took second place in the 14 and under division. So I did alright.
You could pull off like a little, like a Jedi, like just, I don't know, he's like a Jedi look, doesn't he?
My brother actually
put a little robe thing on him and just walk around with a saber.
My brother is actually in the Rebel Legion. He does Luke Skywalker. He goes around to a lot of like children's hospitals, children's museums, and all that stuff. Yeah.
I always said too, but I'm such a Batman nerd that like I couldn't just wear like a shitty costume. Because I'm just such a huge fan that like I'd have to have like a movie replica on. I do wear like a Halloween costume every year. They're not doing it this year, but every year they do down the street from us at the Elks. This company, this friends, they actually own the Black Diamond restaurant here from Frackville, but they do something for autism every year. and they have like a sensory course where the kids can go through, and like I've actually learned some stuff about autism that I wasn't aware of until that day. And I used to volunteer every year. And I always had like a big beard, and I would shave it all off, and I'd put the Batman costume on, and they go through the whole obstacle. At the very end, they bust through like these brick walls, and then I'm there tied up, and they save Batman, and then I put a little mask and a cape on them, and we get a picture together. It's really, really fun.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's the only time like they're like, "You're gonna be Batman." I looked at the costume in my head. I was like, And then I was like, I'll do it for the kids. But yeah, it's really, really fun. It's a good time. But I always said too, if I had a lot of money to buy like a really expensive suit, I would just go to like hospitals and stuff, or birthday parties, because it's cool when the kids like they like eliminate that reality, and they're like, oh my god, that has to be the real thing.
Yeah. Oh, there was also when I was in high school for Superhero Day, when I first came up with Waffle Man, me and the artist who actually did this one,
Waffle Man up here.
We took a couple of mattress pads, cut them into circles, and I went as Waffle Man, and he went as Waffle Man's sidekick, Pancake Pete.
That's cool. And this is something that's been out for a little while now?
Not as far as the book goes. I mean, we just kind of like self-published that one, and I've kind of been on like that artist kind of got busy with work and stuff like after we finished high school, and we haven't really been able to work on anything lately, so I'm kind of looking for an artist to continue Waffle Man, so that's kind of on hold at the moment. But it's Waffle Man's an interesting story. I started writing comics in high school, but I never really got anything good enough to actually want to get published. But Waffle Man was kind of something. I was sitting in lunch one day, and my one friend, I was like, I don't really know what to draw right now. And my one friend was really hungry. He was like, draw a waffle. And so I drew a waffle superhero. And by the end of lunch, it was Waffle Man. And by the end of the next period, it was Waffle Man and the Lunch Bunch. And by the end of that, it was Waffle Man and Pancake Pete. And then by the end of that, it was this. And I just started working on it. And I just kind of kept at it. And in college, me and my friend were just like, you know what, let's just do it, whatever. And we did this one. And now I want to do more. I just need to I have a bunch written. I have a bunch of ideas for it. I just need to get, like, artists with time.
It's so funny you said that. I had a secret comic book in school that only me and like 2 people knew about, and it was Inkblot, and he was a scientist that was trying to make something, and he got like, it's like the typical, and he got morphed into the ink, but literally when I drew it when I was younger, he looked exactly like that Foster's from Imaginary Friends, that little blue guy. It looked identical to that. Like, I still think
it was such a good show.
I was spied on, and they took my idea. But that's literally what it looked like. But he could like morph and like pop arms out and have muscles. But every villain that he had to defeat or was all one of my teachers in school. But like the one teacher, like he was like a crocodile. But I took like his mannerisms and like 1 or 2 features about him, and then made the rest of it a crocodile. And that was like, and so every period I would just draw. Or like there was a bully in school, like someone that like picked on me, like they were like his enemies too, and people would be drawing it like, yo, that looks like, I'm like, so you're not the
Well, that's what they say. I mean, they say write what you know.
That was what I did, and once again, because we talked about off camera, I just rip everything out and throw it away. Like this is horrible. Like, but yeah, that was something I did to pass time in school.
Nice.
Now your little logo here, I see, right? Now you're talking more about Star Wars. It makes sense because it looks like the Death Star.
It wasn't even an inspiration.
Really?
Honestly. Yeah,
that looks just like the Death Star.
The logo for it was, I mean, if there was any kind of symbol, I was in graphic design class when I was in high school. I was a sophomore, and my last name's Miorelli, and everyone called me Mio. And so we had to come up with a logo. And at the time, my favorite band was Pennywise, and their logo was a circle with the P and the W.
Yep.
And so I was like, all right, I'll do the O for Mio, and then put the M in the middle, and then put the I there. And then my friend who worked on this with me was Ethan Hull, and so I just put Hull on the top, and then comics on the bottom. And Hull Mio Comics was kind of what we went by. And
that's all right. I see that now.
That logo itself was actually kind of funny. I was sick.
Like, this is the Death Star. That's the little thing they have to shoot down, and that's the ship coming in.
There you go. And the logo itself is actually kind of funny. We didn't really have much of a logo. Like, it was just the words, Hull Mio Comics. And I was sick one day, and like I was just bored and just kind of drawing, and like I drew the Mio circle again, and then I started putting like Hull on the top. And I actually texted her. I was like, hey, I think I just came up with a logo. Tell me if this looks good, or if I am just too sick to draw right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It must look good.
Your logo for Look Alive. So I've looked at those eyeballs all the time. They're all over my table. Like they're here. They're on the back of the laptop.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have the bag. I have the merch.
I have them inside my sketchbook actually too. So,
and I've stared at these eyeballs at least once every day since I bought the merch or the stickers are on the table. And I'm looking at, and then we made our flyer for the thing, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I didn't know Look Alive was written in the eyelashes.
Yeah. That was one of the things is like they wanted the name, and I'm pretty sure it was John.
Yeah.
Because he's who I talked to mostly about it when we were meeting and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, could you put it in the eyelashes?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's freaking awesome!"
Yeah.
Like,
and it's so subtle.
Like that's what I liked about it, because like, you know, from far away is like a tiny logo. It's like, oh, cool. It's like a pair of eyes. When you get up close, like on the shirt with it blown up, it's like, oh my god, like it's the name. That's so cool.
And it's kind of like the FedEx logo, where like, I don't know, do you know the arrow in the FedEx logo?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So once you know that it's there, every time you see the eyes now, you see Look Alive.
Yeah.
But if you're not noticing it, it's like a mind trick.
I actually like really love subtle details like that, like on the shirt that I did for them on this one. Like, I don't know if you can see it.
You're going to blow my mind with something, aren't you?
Little hair baubles are actually eyeballs.
Okay.
So I put that in there as like a little cue for the Look Alive thing.
Nice.
But yeah, I know John saw that and he's like, yo, I love her hair baubles. I'm like, nice, he noticed it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually sent some other bands over your way too, because they're always looking for different logos. I'm like, yo, hit her up. She's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I love working with bands. Like I worked with a couple bands before, but like I've been doing a lot more work with Look Alive, and like they're awesome to work with. They're such down to earth, like cool people.
Yeah.
And like I tell them all the time, like, oh my god, thank you so much, and they're like, no, thank you, and I'm like, no, like, thank you. Like it's super awesome to find a chill group of people to work with.
It happens all the time. Like when they were on the show, I was like, thank you guys for doing it. Like, thank you for having us, and then we had like a thank you fight.
Thank you off.
Yeah, like, no, you take this
the compliment.
Yeah, you take this goddamn thank you. Stop saying it back. Thank you. All right, they're like, all right, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, they're all so nice though. Like they're super chill. They're easy to work with, and like when they have suggestions, they're not like afraid to tell you, which is awesome. Because I feel like when you're working with like a big group of people, it's either really cohesive or everyone has like a totally different idea.
Yeah.
And it's either you work on it with them, or it's like, no, I want this, I want this, I want this, and it turns into everything but the kitchen sink. But like they're awesome. Like they're so open-minded about everything, and like they're pretty much just like, we just want it to look awesome, and I'm like, that's great.
Now, we found out he's been drawing and writing since grade school. What's your story here? When did you get into this?
I mean, both my parents were artists, so I know a lot of the time everyone's like, oh, you come from like an art background, but I didn't always want to be an artist, like at all. Like it was just like something I did.
Now, you said both your parents are artists. Like, do they do anything in the area?
So, not really right now. My dad left when I was little, so like that's like, he's out of the picture. But he used to do like fine arts, technical skills. I'm pretty sure he went to art school for a while. My mom actually didn't go to art school. She's so talented though. Like she was doing technical art for the longest time. Then she started doing abstract painting, which was just like mind blowing. And then she started doing leather work. She was writing. She actually wrote a book.
Oh wow.
Like she didn't get it published, but she was writing on it, which actually kind of segues into the comic thing that we were going to talk about too. But like she does so much creative stuff that she doesn't give herself credit for, I think. But like I know her and I when I think I was about 15 or 16. That's when I actually started getting serious about art. Like up until that point, I was just doing, a bunch of random kid stuff. Like I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to be this. I wanted to be that. Like there were so many odd job things that I wanted to do that I was never like, oh, I should do art. Because like, oh, maybe I'm good at this. Like I never thought that until like maybe 8th grade, freshman year, sort of. Whereas I think it was 8th grade, and I had an art teacher, Mrs. Levine, who put me into art talent, because like actually up until that point, like every time I had applied for art talent, I never got in, and I was just like so discouraged, because like when you're a kid and you're applying to stuff like that and you don't get it, and someone's basically telling you like, hey, you're not good enough, indirectly, it's kind of like, well, maybe that's just not for me then. And then she was the one that kind of like jump started everything. And then when I got into high school, I don't know if you know Billy Whalen and Thaddeus Psurd.
I'm not sure, no.
Well, they're local. They teach at Blue Mountain. Like, they really, like, honed in on me in a good way. But, like, they really pushed me, like, past my limitations and my stubbornness. Because, like, I was stuck in my ways where I was like, I just want to do this X, Y, and Z. Like, I don't want to do this and that. And, I think they saw potential in me, so they pushed me to work harder at stuff. And, like, I think if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't do a lot of the art I do now. But, yeah, I don't know.
Awesome.
I was doing shows with my mom, she came home one day and she was just like, I need to quit my job. Like, it's just not working out. She said it was killing her, like, day in, day out. She was almost never happy, or, like, she just couldn't do it anymore. Like, she had to go to the hospital. She was having heart issues. Like, it was bad. It got to the point where she was just like, I'm done and I can't do it anymore. And she came home and she was like, how do you feel about being, like, poor? And I was like, whatever, sure, let's make it work, let's do it. And we went out on the road. We were going to art shows, craft shows, vending. We were doing any show that we could find, basically, that we could afford and make it to on a budget. And I think we did that for about 2 years, just her and me making art, traveling. And we met so many cool people. I met Courtney Smith at one of those shows. It was awesome. Like, I met a bunch of local artists. It was probably like the best 2 years of my life, honestly, because at that point in time, I was super shy. I never wanted to show my art to people. It was kind of just like a me thing, and like I showed it to friends and family, but it was never like, oh, I'm actually gonna like go show these strangers my art and talk about it. Like, that's so nerve-wracking. And like the first show, like, I thought I was gonna be sick because like people were looking at my art and asking me about it, and I'm like, man, I don't know, I just like to draw.
I just did that.
But,
that was one thing I talked about with Timmy. Should turn everybody up a hair here. That's one of the things, like, with, like, I think a lot of artists are very, very, very creative people, like musicians and stuff, where they can just be like, hey, we're going to live on very, very little means, but we're going to chase this.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I think people think, you know, you have to have a lot to be happy. And I actually just recently had a lady talk to me about it, and she was like, oh, yeah, like, what are your goals for the future? And I was like, honestly, like, as long as I'm making art and I'm happy, that's all I could really ever ask for, you know?
Like, me, I'm the type of person, I'm like, man, I need to, like, I could never quit my job to do this full time. I would have, because I've already set myself in a standard of life that I have too many bills. You know what I mean? And and a part of, like, I kind of like the idea of, like, the creative people, artists or musicians, where they're like, yeah, I don't play video games, I don't do that, I don't have, like, this, because that's not in the budget.
Yeah, I mean, that happens so much with me, too. Like, people are like, oh, man, you never played this, or, oh, you don't do this, or you don't know what that is. It's like, man, like, I don't have the money for that.
Yeah,
like,
because you're...
Like, all my funds go towards bills, food, and art supplies. Yeah. And that's about it.
And I think that's a really cool thing. I really do. I think that's awesome that people can just take that step back and chase, which is awesome. And the thing is with art in our area, it's not, like... For a long time, I've said that there's a very sheltered way of thinking of Schuylkill County, where people are like, oh, no one can be an artist or a musician or this or that, and I'm like, man, you're so wrong. Like, just starting this podcast alone, the music scene has really, really opened up an eye to me, and that's why I was like, man, I want to do this festival because the music scene's amazing. And then I got more into, like, the bands and stuff, and I was like, all right. And then the bands led me to, like, art, and I'm like, like, right down the street from the Majestic Theater, there's a little art studio where they show people's art. Schuylkill Haven has the Walk-In Art Center, which shows people's art. Roger from the Martian Material Store, in the back of his store, is all people's art. And there's a lot of artists in our area that people don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have work up at the Arts Barn at the Market Square Coffee Shop in Orrigsburg. I was at the Walk-In. I was a studio artist for 2 years. Like, I've met so many artists, and I'm like, you know, it's crazy that people don't notice these people as much as they should.
And I remember I used for, like, a little while there, I did plumbing and heating work, and it was just not for me. But we did work in the Walk-In Art Center. Like, we remodeled those whole bathrooms that's used for, like, the parties and stuff. Like, we put all those in. That was, like, almost my whole summer. And I remember just, like, all right, go take a break. And I'm like, all right, I'll be back. And I would just walk down where the classrooms and stuff are. And I was like, man, this is awesome. There was a lady there. Like, I don't have any art really hanging up in the house, but I always wanted, like, an abstract. You know how, like, is it Warhol with the Campbell soup? Yeah. But I want a Gears Iced Tea one.
Oh, is it Missy Allen?
I guess so.
She has a Gears Tea painting. Oh, Missy's awesome. Missy is great.
But I just want something like the Schuylkill, like, if I can get, like, a bottle of, like, Chesterfield ale
painted. She has a lot of, like, Skook themed artwork, and she has, like, the Skook Santa, and, like, she had a huge painting of, like, a Gears Tea and, like, all these bright neon colors.
I have Gears Iced Tea tattooed on me.
Oh my god.
I have Winnie the Pooh drinking a Gears Iced Tea. Chris Bishop did that. Yeah. I'm obsessed with Gears Iced Tea.
Oh, I could totally give you her name. Like, she does really cool stuff. Like, that's, like, I wouldn't say she's known for that, because, like, I know her from, like, characters. She taught me a few lessons and stuff when I was, like, really young. But yeah, like her studio is fantastic. She does so much work. Like she's someone I would like look up to. Like I can give you her name for the podcast. Even like she's been through so much. She does so much. She travels. Like oh my god, she's
100%.
Like, she is an art tornado.
Yeah, and the cool thing is like when I do a show and I do a band, it always kind of spiral. Like not and when I say spirals, it's not a negative thing, but it's kind of like I had one band on, and then 14 other bands like.
I have a list of names for you. Like you don't even know. Like I seriously, I was like, oh my god, I gotta write down all these names because like so many people deserve to be known,
100%.
and they're doing all this cool stuff, and it's like you're doing such a cool thing, giving people a platform to talk about it. It's a win-win situation that like everyone gets to talk about stuff.
And that's the cool thing. I enjoy not only talking about somebody with their craft or what they're good at, but I like to learn a little bit about them too. And then and then you take little side turns. Like I would have never known he's like a huge gamer, and like I was like, and now I'm like, all right, Tony, stop talking about video games. But yeah, it's just I just love meeting new people all the time and experiencing that, and it's cool because. Like we kind of joke around with the Montango guys and Look Alive guys where they're like, oh, well, we're like 20. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm way older than you guys. And it's just like you take away, like when you sit down at the table and you just talk about your interests and your passions, there's that age thing isn't even like a thing anymore. You know what I mean? It's really, really neat.
It's crazy. Like from going to shows and stuff, like teaching classes, like being at the walk-in, like I have such a weird range of friends of like older artists, older people that admire art, and then like kids, like actual kids that'll come up to me and be like, oh my god, can we draw together? I'm like, yeah, like let's freaking draw.
What do you want to do? Like, yeah, same thing too. Like I woke up the one day and I had a guy in the podcast, he helps me out, Andy Hedder. He's a professional wrestler, and that whole show is getting crazy because now all the guys who are in the local wrestling scene are like, hey, can I call in? And I'm like, yeah, we'll call in and talk wrestling. That's awesome. But he has a fan, and she's this 11, 12-year-old girl from the area, and she's obsessed with like local, like she likes wrestling, and she's going through some stuff now because she kind of gets picked on for being a wrestling fan and being a girl, and they're like, that's weird, but it's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. But she, like, I woke up one day and I'm on Instagram and I see like my logo, but all of the podcasts, and it says the Interviews with Everyday People fan page. I was like, what is that?
That's awesome.
I thought someone made a fake thing, which would have been even flattering too that a fake one was made. But she made a fan page, and like she like everything we do, she's like when I interviewed you, she posts like, hey, she's gonna be on the show, like, so she like promotes with me.
That's awesome.
But she's such a sweetheart. Like she actually drew the wrestling ring for the tornado tag.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like have it on our fridge. but she's super cool. Like so it's cool when you put yourself out there, and like even if one person latches on, you're like.
I do volunteer work at the library in Ortsburg. I've pretty much been doing that since high school, when you have to do like grad requirement hours. But like I kind of just stuck with it because Claudia Gross, the library director, she's just awesome. Like she's such a cool person, and I teach art classes there. We actually just got a grant.
Nice.
This is our third one that I've done with her. So I'm teaching free art classes to people. This year we're doing 2 adult that are already passed, and then 2 teen ones coming up. And totally free for all the participants, all the materials provided, everything is 100% free. I think that's awesome, like that she's willing to do something like that. And I had one of the little girls, well, she's not little, she's like 11, but she asked me if she could come into the class because I think my requirement was like 12 or 13, and she was coming and drawing with me, and like she's so sweet, she's so talented, she doesn't even think she's talented. I'm like, oh my god, like you have so much potential and you don't even know it. And I was like, you are more than welcome to come to this class. Like I was sitting prepping for a class, and she came over and saw me drawing and just like sat down and drew with me and talked with me for hours, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like,
and that's the thing too. Like when I used to coach soccer, we live in a time now where people are like, oh my god, keep your kids sheltered. But like sometimes, like for me anyway, I was raised with all people that were older than me.
Yeah, what I mean? And her mom too is like, oh man, don't bother her, like she's busy. And I'm like, oh my god, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah, because that's what growing up, I would go to the basketball court back when I was in way better shape. But I'd play basketball all day in Monte City, and then when I grew up, if you weren't good enough to play at certain courts, don't even show up at that court. Yeah. Because Monte City was pretty serious with their basketball back in the day. And like if you sucked, you went to this court and you went to this court, and if you were good and you thought you were good, you played at this court. So then as I got older, I'd be playing and the court would be empty, and the kid would walk by and he's like, Can we shoot here? I was like, yeah, no problem. And then it'd be like, it would be me and my one friend, and we're older, and we'd be just playing one-on-one or just messing around, and then they would be like, 7, 8, 9 little kids, and we're like, well, yo, let's do 4-on-4.
Yeah.
And one big kid will be on one team, one big kid will be on the other, and just taking that 15, 20 minutes of just talking to a kid, you're influencing them to do something better when they get older.
Like, she comes up to me constantly now, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting better at drawing eyes. Like, I'm getting better at drawing this. Like, your tips were helpful. And like, she'll run up to me and hug me, like, just like a friend. And she's like, when I'm old enough to have Facebook, can I friend you? And I'm like, oh my god, yes. Yeah. Like, and of course.
Those small interactions with the youth is important, and it's even when I start coaching soccer for a long time, and I still see kids like I coach, and they're like, hey, and if your 15 seconds could be like, hey, when I was a kid, there was this older person that used to like be nice to me, and they're like, you always just kind of hold yourself to a different standard because you never know who's watching.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, you know, as a younger person doing art, like, I've been doing art since I was little. Like, having someone older tell you, like, hey, your art's good, it means a difference. Like, it's not everyone constantly telling you that your art's bad, you shouldn't do that, why are you doing art as a career? Like, having someone in your field makes a difference when you're younger, because that's, like, really the formative years about art, too. Especially with all these schools trying to cut funding for it. Like,
for everything, art, music, it sucks.
Crazy.
And that's kind of one of the things that, like, with the whole youth thing, like, I'm at the store, like, we had the Switch up, and, you know, kids can come in and play Smash Bros. And, like, there was this one kid came in, and, you know, he paid the money to get on the Switch and whatnot, and he was playing. I honestly didn't, like, I was playing with him, I was showing him how to play. He never played Smash Bros. Before. I taught him how, and, like, he was kind of playing, and he got second place once, and was really happy about that.
Nice.
And, like, just kind of hanging around. And then his mom came in the one day and was like, so is he back there? I'm like, yeah. Is he playing with other kids? I'm like, yeah, he's playing with some 2 kids are back there with him. And, like, is he winning? I'm like, I mean, he's not getting first. And she's like, oh, if he doesn't win, he usually screams. If he's back there laughing, wow, this is... I'm like...
Well, that's because, too, like, for my generation growing up, there was no online gaming.
Yeah.
So you played with friends, like, and that is something that's very dead now. Because you can just put your system online and play with anybody, and it's easy to get angry and throw your controller and scream because you're never going to see that person. But that's a cool thing your shop is doing, is you're allowing kids to kind of take back a section of gaming that is not very popular anymore.
Well, actually, like, a lot of the kids who come in and play, I mean, like, I'm getting kids who are, like, paying for their time and, like, dimes and stuff. Like, these are kids who don't have systems or anything, and they hear about this stuff, they know this stuff's out there, and, like, now they have a place for a really cheap cost. They can just come and do it, and I mean, it's great. Awesome. Honestly, I hear from people all the time, like, you know, your store's amazing, like, this is, like, the best place in town. And I had one kid, he had to be proud for, like, 10 seconds. So he was like, I heard him talking to his one friend, and he was like, you know, this is the best place in town. And I'm like, and then he looks at me and he's like, don't get excited. This is the only place in town.
Yeah. We went to York to a game store to find, because I used to really like to go find, like, I'm not a game collector, but I like to find games that were popular. Like, for me, they were like games that I was like, oh my god, this was my game when I was a kid. And sometimes they're worth nothing, and sometimes they're worth a lot. So we used to always try to go to find, like, yard sailing or game stores. We went to this one in York, and we looked around. It was really, really cool. And then when we walked around the corner, just to kind of walk around York and see what was there was a giant arcade. And it was all old school arcades. Like, they had the old school X-Men, the old school, like, everything. Nice. Pinball machines. Nice. And what you didn't pay for the game when you walked in, like you said, you pay for a certain timestamp. And then in the back of the store, they had couches and stuff, and they had PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and it was all there for people to play. And people would just be like, it was cool because, like, there'd be a little kid, and he's playing Fortnite online, and another little kid sitting on the couch next to him watching him play, and then he'd die, and then he just had an old controller. And it was just like, they're learning gaming etiquette. Yeah. Because, like, a lot of people, like, if you took 2 brothers and put them in a room together and, like, share, you're like, yo, okay, it's my turn.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
And I feel like that, like, with art, too, is, like, so many, not all, but so many established artists, they're either willing to share techniques and, like, help youth out. There's some that are just, like, no, you suffer and learn on your own. You deal with it. This is my fame and my thing. Because I've run into artists like that, and it's just like, why? Like, we're all just trying to make it.
Yep.
And
same with the music scene.
You know, like, it's like people should support people that are passionate about what they're passionate about. You know, like, you're shutting down a future relationship with someone that you could have a connection with and make, you know, a partnership, friends. Like why would you shut something like that down just for your ego? Yep. You know.
We were talking with Tim with Mingle. You every day you walk out of the house, you have an opportunity to make a legacy.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make a good one or a bad one? If you turn someone onto something and say, hey, I'll help you out, that little girl's gonna remember you forever. And she might pay it forward when she gets to a certain, you know what I mean?
And she's so, like, I actually ran into her today too. Before coming here, I was prepping for everything for this, and she came up to me and she was like, "Oh man, you don't have your drawing stuff today?" And I was like, "Oh no." And she's like, "When are you gonna be here next? I want to draw with you again." And I'm like, "You know what? We can set something up.
Yeah,
that's fine."
Yeah, 100%. And that's beautiful. I love that. But going back to the library thing, and we were actually just talking about today. I was with my family at Knoebels right before here, and the cool thing about the public library system, and I think every town library probably does it, but not many people look into it. If you're a parent and you're looking for something very cheap and affordable to do with your kids, and you want to get them out of the house and socialize and meet places and do things, go to your library.
It really is. Like, they have so much there that other libraries don't. Like, all the local libraries are doing something, but I feel like the Augsburg Library is, like, going above and beyond with everything that they're doing. Like, Claudia just, like, she just keeps going. Like, I don't know where she comes up with all the ideas, how she just, like, doesn't stop coming up with all these fundraisers and ideas. And she always makes sure that it's free or at, like, an extremely low cost for these kids. And it's awesome because, especially during the summer when, like, there's nothing to do around here. Now they have a place to go, and it's for all ages. Like, they have anything from, like, pre-K to, like, adult classes. You know, it's great for anybody, not even just kids.
100%. That's why I said if you're definitely, like, if you just live in our area and you are watching this or anything, just spread this message to people. Like, do some research. Like, I didn't know the Majestic Theater was a thing again, and you can, on every Tuesday night, you can go watch an 80s movie for, like, I think it's like $2. Like, it's an insanely low price. Like, my wife just went, when we had our meeting for Skookstock, and she's like, you're gonna be there forever, so I'm just gonna go and see a movie, because we lost our movie theater and people are upset about it. Yeah, obviously you're not gonna see new releases, but, like, she's a huge. We love 80s movies. One of her favorite movies is 16 Candles, and she went on Tuesday night and watched 16 Candles at the Majestic Theater. Like, it's awesome, and they have candy, popcorn. You know what I mean? And then the guy who owns the candy store in the corner works with them and brings candy over and sells it. There's just so much cool stuff in our area. Like, even Tamako, like your store. Then you got the Wheel's going to be there soon. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much positive, cool things happening in the area that people are just, and then the only thing they latch on is like, well, there's so many druggies. Like, no, there's cool stuff happening there. Like,
I was gonna say, well, that's actually one thing that I do want to highlight is that we actually get some people. Like, I have a friend who, you know, he was into drugs and everything. You know, he actually, you know, went to prison and now he's out. And we have a game called Keyforge. It's a card game where you don't build a deck. You don't, like, there's none of the, like, all the in-depth money things that go in card games. Like, you just buy a deck and you have everything. He comes in, he's like in there 2 days a week, 3 days a week. He'll come up with my partner, Nate, who works at the store with me. He'll like, yo, Nate, you want to play Keyforge? And like, here's this guy. Like,
it's keeping him busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Even the kids, like, hey, there could be kids out there right now, you know, learning bad traits and doing cool things, and then they walk in and for $1, like, you get an hour of gaming.
Yep.
Yeah, gaming is terrible. Well, now that kid is actually going to a location. He's socializing with other kids. He's playing games, and he's not hurting anybody.
I know for the longest time, like, all I would do is read and draw, and I'd be like, look, Mom, it could be worse. I could be on drugs, but I'm not. All my money's going to art supplies. I don't have money for anything like that.
Really cool thing in Tamaqua, too, just because you're from the area, I want to give like a shout out to that thing, Safer Streets.
Yes, actually, Safer Streets, Johnson Kevich, he did the T-shirts. He did our sign. I'm really good friends with the Sinkeviches. Actually, Dakota Sinkevich was my first friend. We sat on the bus to kindergarten together.
Yeah, but, they took a really traumatic thing and turned it into an amazing positive thing in our community.
Yeah, Safer Streets, those guys, they're the best.
We're actually I was supposed to do a podcast live there for the event coming up, but I kind of had to retract a little bit because I found out that when I was at Brewfest doing my thing, these mics are not good outdoor mics, so it picks up everything. Yeah, so once I get a little better setup, we'll be able to do more outside things. But yeah, awesome thing in Tamaqua there too. So I really respect what they're doing, and their event coming up is going to be awesome. Bad Maggie, Cody Wiley, there's a third band. I just forget who it is.
I'm not sure. We have they just put flyers up in the store.
Oh shit! Big Jer, Cody Wiley, Bad Maggie, and then Brandon Novak from you probably seen him from, I know him from Jackass CKY videos, but then he was on Viva La Bam and all that, but you know, struggled himself with drug addiction, and now he's completely sober and doing amazing. From what I heard, someone I work with, he's an amazing book out. like cleaning up his drug addiction and doing better things. So if you're looking for something to do, I believe it's not this weekend, next weekend, the 20th.
So. Yep.
Yep. It's in one of the parks in Tamaqua.
Might be up at the bungalow, I think.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Tamaqua.
Yep.
So if you're looking for something to do next Saturday, well, this Saturday coming up is the I think the Yingling 190th, and then the 20th is Safer Streets. So and it's I think it's a free event. So definitely go check that out if you're in the area, especially the Tamaqua area. It's awesome. A lot of cool stuff, and awesome bands and musicians are going to be there as well.
Yep.
So definitely give that a shout out. But yeah, so what are some of the future plans you guys have?
Well, we're actually working on another comic unrelated to this one, totally different story, but that one's about halfway right now. We're picking that up again, working on that, hoping to get that done. We were actually talking on the way here about cranking out 3 in a series.
Nice.
Just trying to get that done.
Yep, and trying to hook up with a publisher and actually kind of get started.
Are you willing to give any deets? Like, what's it kind of be about?
Well, to be totally candid about that one, I just pitched her the
Yeah,
idea.
we literally just talked about it on the way here. Like,
Yeah,
he was like, hey, how do you feel about just like firing out 3 comics? I'm like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, to be totally candid, our comics have kind of been, her career has been crazy with her. She hasn't had a lot of time. I've been trying to get the store up and running.
Yeah.
So we are just picking up on the one we're working on right now. It's a superhero story. I don't really have...
Good. That's like... I was talking to somebody the other day, like, I can't... Like, I love DC Marvel. But to me, I'm so over it. Because I know those stories. Like, are you excited to go see Spider-Man? No. Why? Because
it's all the same.
Here's what's gonna happen. I know all of his abilities. I'm gonna go see his, and then he's gonna fight a thing. It's not gonna live up to the comics. It's gonna be a good movie, but I know everything about that character. You're not gonna surprise me.
I feel like there's still decent movies, but like I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So like I've been latching on to comics that are so not kind of like unknown, or like they're the new shows that are coming out, like the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just watched. I
So
literally
good.
just watched that. It is so
because
good.
if I'd never read the book, so you watch the Netflix series and you have no idea what to expect because you know nothing about those characters.
I
and it
seriously
scratches that
just
superhero.
finished binge watching that season, and I'm like, I really want to go see if I can find more out about that and read more about that.
Yeah, their
like,
books
it was really interesting.
The books are crazy.
And I'm sure the books have way more information, so it's like I need to get a hold of that.
Yeah, so like that kind of stuff I like. So I like when there's superhero stuff that's not so much your typical superhero one. So there's another one you might like, and it's actually one of the dudes from Umbrella Academy was in this show, and it was on Hulu. It was called The Misfits. It was a British one. So that one was these kids were like on a Saturday parole detention type thing, and when they were there, this weird eclipse happens, and this eclipse makes them superheroes. And each one has their own ability. And the guy who sees the dead people in Umbrella Academy plays a guy who he can't die. No matter what you do to him, he can't. He was
a good character.
He was the best guy on the show, like in both those shows so far. Like I didn't finish Umbrella Academy yet, but he was like I love that show.
His character just like really arcs. It just gets better like throughout the whole season.
I think I'm at the point now where he just escaped when he was being held. And he opens
I won't give anything away.
He opens the briefcase.
I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to tell you what happens.
And he opens the briefcase, and then he finds out about.
My gosh.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
It's a good part.
But I Netflix, I get to the point. We were kind of talking the other day too, yesterday. Like I don't like binge watching.
Oh really?
Only because I feel like me personally, when I binge watch something, I don't retain it all. Where if I watch an episode or two, and then I let it go for a couple days. I retain it, and then I go talk to someone like, did you watch that? And then we kind of bounce, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And then I'll watch another 2 episodes.
I just feel like I'm so busy, I have to binge watch. Like, I literally, Stranger Things came out, I binge watched the whole season in a day. Oh, so good. I have, like, thoughts and theories on everything.
The video game just came out, too.
Yeah.
They made a video game, and supposedly the video game is canon to the show, and you learn stuff in the video game that would help you know more about the universe, which is really smart to do. I'm obsessed with Black Mirror. Yeah, you watch that?
Not yet.
So Black Mirror is kind of like a modern day Twilight Zone, but like with modern day technology. It's crazy. The newest episode of this newest season was the weirdest but coolest thing I've ever watched in my life. All I'll say, it deals with virtual reality video games and a weird, I don't want to say it's gay because it is, but it's not, because these two, so the premise is this guy, his girlfriend, and his best friend were like, that was their relationship forever. Like the best friend always lived with them, and then they became like married, got their kids, the whole nine, and his friend just kind of like, they're friends still. They're the type of friends that like, hey, I haven't seen you in 10 years, but we can jump right back into our friendship, and it's like we haven't missed a beat. So he comes to his birthday party, and it's not like an adult birthday party. Like, there's kids running around, and you can tell the guy's just like... it's a guy who actually played Falcon originally. No, the Falcon now. Yeah, it's the Falcon. Not the original one. It was Don Cheadle or whatever, and he stopped, and this guy took over. So his buddy's like, yo, I got this fighting game that we used to always play, and it's virtual reality, and I bought it for you. Let's play. So they go back, and they pop it in, and they're playing, and they fight, and then his buddy kisses him in the game. And they're like, whoa, 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 stop. Erase. Get out of the game. And then next day they're like, yo, I was drunk. Yeah, me too, I was drunk. But then it ended up becoming like they have this weird romance because I guess in the video game you feel and experience everything. So if you get punched, you have that sensation of you punched. Well, they took it to another step and they hook up, we'll say. And they just keep doing it. And then like, it just gets this really weird rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting episode. At first I was like, this is really out there. And then by the end I was like, that was awesome how they tied it together. But that was, like, they're super wacky out there, but they're cool episodes. So check it out. Really good show. But yeah, so you're looking, next comic's going to be like a superhero type thing.
Next comic is a superhero. The title's kind of tentative right now. I think I'm just calling the whole overarching series Urban Legends. And the first one, I don't really know. Like, I think you'd say it's different than most superheroes.
Yeah, I would say so.
And
I'm
are
sure,
the heroes
like,
going to be
you know,
based off Urban Legends?
Not really so much. It's just kind of a name to slap on it, to be honest. But I'm also working on another one with another artist, which is kind of like temporary. Like, she's going to art school, so this summer we're just going to try to knock out a quick short story, and that's another superhero one called Short Circuit. And that one I'm really hoping is going to do well. It's like a super... Like, the one that I'm working on with her has, like, a pretty serious tone to it. The one that I'm working on with this other girl, it's...
a little bit more lighthearted.
Oh, yeah. Short Circuit's pretty ridiculous.
Is it lighthearted adult humor, or is it just lighthearted humor?
It's adult humor to a point.
So she's like, it's kind of almost like a Deadpool.
Midway.
Yeah.
A little bit. I think you'd
I
say...
wouldn't say it's, like, only adult. You know
right.
what
I mean, I think you say Short Circuit's just pretty unique.
She's out there.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Awesome. I'm pumped, man. Like, and where can we pick up these comics?
Definitely the Escape Pod in Tamaqua. Other than that, at the moment, online. I have a sales page, holomiocomics.sells.com, and I think I got that link right. Either way,
we'll send it to you.
I have
as
the
well.
link on my thing too. On my
send it over to me, and I'll put it in the description and stuff below.
Yeah, there's ebooks on there. For the most part, the physical copies at the Escape Pod in Tamaqua is pretty much the only place we got to sell them right now.
Yeah.
When me and her knock out the series, we're gonna look at distribution.
There's a couple of Rebel Dawn up at Market Square Coffee House in Orgsburg too. Pretty sure there's some still up there, but those can get picked up there.
Cool.
And
you should look
all the copies there are
Press
signed,
Coffee too. You should look in there.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go there and talk to them about it. I've stopped in like twice, and pretty sure the owner wasn't there those two times because I definitely want to talk to her about that. But
I think they're very on board with like helping local people out. So.
Oh my god, their place is amazing too.
So I went there once. I kind of went in, looked around, and then I went up the street to the brewery because I was meeting people there. But I wanted to stop in and see it. And then I interviewed Tim, and I was like, all right, I have my meeting for Skookstock. I want to go something to eat. I know I heard they have food and stuff there. And I walked in, and it was closed, and I missed it. But like they were all having a meeting. I kind of poked in, like, hi, I'm this guy. And then I left. So I haven't gotten a chance to really experience it. But yeah, I would definitely contact them too. Maybe sell some books out of there. That'd be awesome. Awesome, cool. So then you guys, we talked about your never read too many comic books, right? So like, I can't really ask you the question who your favorite heroes or comic books are.
I mean, I've read a lot of the original Spider-Man. Spider-Man's pretty much
your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I don't like about like the DC Marvel superhero comics is that like they're mostly epic hero stories. Like they're mostly like they don't like Superman. They don't really have a lot of flaws. Batman, I mean, he's a billionaire. Like kind of doesn't really have a care in the world. But Spider-Man was always like that anti-hero that just I could actually like connect with as a character. He's kind of like the one Marvel or DC character that I could always get behind.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We talked about like who would you put on the Mount Rushmore of comic book characters, and I think it has to be Superman.
Yeah.
Batman, Spider-Man, Captain America. I think that'd be the four people that would have to. I think they're like the original ones, and I think they're Because in my opinion, I think the two best superheroes are the most iconic superheroes on the planet is Spider-Man and Batman.
Yeah.
Because if you take someone who's never read a comic in their life, but they kind of know superhero stuff, and you're like, name me 10 villains, I almost going to guarantee they're going to name a Batman or Batman or Spider-Man villain. Yep. Because they're the most iconic villains too.
They're not only the most iconic villains, like, you can't really find you someone who can name you an Iron Man villain.
No.
Like, they're really the only ones with notable villains.
And the only reason that Iron Man movies got made is because they didn't have the rights to the Fantastic Four, X-Men, or Spider-Man.
That too. I mean, they were just trying to start.
Shit, who do we have?
Yeah, who do we have?
All right, let's work with this.
Yeah, we got Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America. Let's go from there.
So like, all right, Captain's we can make Captain. Like, we got Robert Downey Jr. This'll work. Who else we got? We could kind of borrow the Hulk. All right, that'll work. Guardians of the Galaxy. All right. Get James Gunn, make it super funny. Let's get this going. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, they've done a great job with the universe, but that universe would have never happened if they would have had the who they wanted right away. I don't think we would have gotten as far as we did in that, which is probably a good thing. And now we're going to get it now.
No, because that's the thing. I mean, that's why they were able to take a chance on it. I mean, Iron Man wasn't known before 2008.
No. Just the best. People knew Iron Man from the Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath song.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're like, oh, that Iron Man, he's a character too. I know that. But is there anything else you guys want to talk about or bring up? No? Anything you want to plug? We talked about it a little bit there. You're the Escape Pod.
Yeah, the Escape Pod in Tamaqua on Pine Street, 309 North.
Awesome. And we'll put some stuff out there. Do you have like a Facebook page or anything for that?
Yes, we do. Escape Pod Cards and Games. If you just type it in Facebook, it should be on there.
Awesome. And you guys put all your events, like when you have game tournaments and stuff?
Yes, we do. We do Super Smash Bros. Every Saturday and Monday at 6. We do Magic. We do Modern Friday nights at 7. We do Commander Sunday nights at 7. Keyforge we do on Tuesday nights. Star Wars Destiny we do on Wednesdays. And Yu-Gi-Oh! We do Saturday afternoon.
Awesome. Well, if you're interested in the card games, definitely go check them out. And like I said, they have tournaments. They're working on stuff all the time, so definitely check them out. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah. So I have. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have website. I got to work on changing everything to the same name.
Yeah.
But so if you're seeing
get
stuff
a like page too for your art.
Yeah. So I have Facebook as just mine personally, but I have an actual art page on Facebook as CNH Arts, and that's.
I found that like later.
Yeah, like people don't really see that as much because they're like, "What is this?" But it's like when my mom and I started it, it was her with the C and then me as an H. So I kind of just left it as that because like I always felt bad about taking that off.
I do
like
have
that's
something
where
I
it
want to talk to you
started.
about. So I seen on Instagram or Facebook that you had an artist that you're a fan of, and she put a challenge out there for anyone in the thing to draw her character.
Draw this in your challenge. Yeah, that was going around Instagram. That was a pretty old thing, and it's still going, and it's awesome. I love those.
Who was the girl you drew?
So that was her original character. I'm pretty sure her name is Jacqueline DeLeon. She's one of my favorite artists. So like I don't typically search out artists even with like comic stuff. Like I'm like I don't even look at the name or what it is. I just look at the art, and I'm like, oh my god, I love it. I want to follow that. But like I've been a fan of hers for a while.
I think your version of the character is awesome.
Honestly can't believe how much it blew up. That's probably one of my most liked ones this year on Instagram. I think it's like at like 100 something likes right now.
111.
Yeah, and I was like, I was like blown away when I saw. I'm like, I didn't even like this drawing. I was like, oh my god, like because I wanted to do this digital like huge drawing of it. But like I was having some technical difficulties. I didn't have my tablet with me. I only had my sketchbook, so I actually have it in here. But like I had to do it by hand, and I was like so upset with how it turned out.
That was all by hand?
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a digital drawing.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's like in my sketchbook, just
Holy shit.
Markers and stuff like that. But that's why I posted. I was like, oh, who's gonna look at this? Like, oh, it's kind of lame. Like, I'm sorry that I couldn't do it digitally. And then like it blew up, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Insane? Like, it looks awesome on Instagram, but it looks even better in person.
Yeah, it's so hard to capture a really good picture of like all the marker lines and fine details and things.
Let me see. I want to see if.
Feel free to look through everything.
There's a character that you drew. I actually have it open right here. It's one of my favorite characters you drew.
Oh, I don't think you're that far.
Oh, that one's awesome. I like that a lot. That reminds. All right, so there used to be an old video game where it was this little kid, and when he went to sleep, he would go into a dream world, and that was the video game. I forget the name of it, but it reminds me a lot of that art style.
Was it Alex Kidd?
It might be, yeah. It was an old like Super Nintendo game or
like
Nintendo game.
Alex Kidd in the Monster World, Matt.
Oh, that's cool too. I like when people draw mermaids like evil. Because that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be really evil. Now the Little Mermaid's black and everyone's upset, which is stupid too. That was a cool one. I think I see that on Instagram too, like the voodoo lady.
Yeah, that one was just the initial sketch for it with the character design thing. I'm hoping to do that again and have like a little challenge thing with that.
That's cool. I don't want to talk about it in case they're like hidden stuff that you're doing.
Oh no, that's totally fine. Everything, I'm pretty sure everything in there is totally up for talking about.
That's awesome.
That was.
I just love your style. Like I think it's a cool style.
Man, I'm like still working out my style. Like it varies so much between like realism to cartoon to like
if that was
surrealism.
A woman in a bar and I was single, I would talk to her in a heartbeat. Like she looks like Megan Good a little bit. The actress Megan Good. That looks like that character.
The Gorillas. Yeah, that's what it was inspired by actually.
What's her name? Noodle. Noodle, yeah. I love it. Let's wrap up here. And I'll peek through that in a second. But this is what I said. This was one of my favorite ones. That girl here.
Oh, that. So that was like the. I had a 100 face challenge, and I had the last 3 or 4 to go. So I just put a thing on Facebook that was like, "Hey, give me your faces. I need some faces." So
who is that?
That one was of my friend Angie Botek. What's up, Angie?
And Angie, she drew you amazingly.
It was just like, I don't have the picture anymore, but it was just like her sitting with her pet snake, and I was like, oh my god, like I see this character. This is who she needs to be. There's
another one on here I thought was really cool. It's like a girl, like it looks like biracial. That actually looks like a girl from our area.
That's
Amanda.
Amanda Chevalier.
Oh no, that's not who I thought it was. I thought it was somebody else.
No, that's her. But yeah, she's also an artist. Another name I was going to give you. She is awesome. She's at Subculture Vulture.
That's insane.
Which is pretty cool. That's a pet portrait. Yeah, there are lots of pets on there.
So cool. Like I honestly go check it. It's HAYL _Stokes. Yeah. I actually coached a girl in soccer with the last name Stokes.
Yeah.
Sydney Stokes.
So many people in this area are like, "Oh man, are you related to the Stokes family in Ordsburg?" I'm like, "No, I'm the only Stokes here."
I had a really funny thing. I made a Facebook Live today about the interview today, and I was like, "I'm really excited. Haley's gonna be on." And then someone wrote, "Could you say you're stoked for it?" And I was like, I didn't think of that.
If I had $1 for every time I've heard that joke from teachers, friends, like, oh my god.
I didn't think of it, but they put it. Actually, Max from No Rain Check said that. I was like, good. That was a good one, Max. I liked it. But thank you guys so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Once you get more stuff for the comics and stuff, and definitely come and have you in. And obviously, you'd be an amazing fit for things that weren't cool in high school. So if you can pull you away from the shop on a Thursday night or Wednesday night, Wednesday at 8:30 we start. So if every time you want to come out, you're more than welcome to come back and hang out and play video games. And anytime you guys get anything going on, like events or art, let me know. We'll share it and. Definitely. Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. Yeah, it was a good time. But go check it out, Escape Pod. You can buy it there, and we'll get the comics everywhere else. But thank you guys also. It's always a good time. We're doing that thank you thing again. We're just like thank you battles. Thank you. Yeah. All right. See you guys. That's fun. An hour? Not bad.
Wow, it didn't even feel like an hour.
Yeah, it goes really fast.